Hi, everyone, and welcome to Reckless Attack, a normally 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons actual play podcast. But today, something a little different, something a little special, something a little near and dear to my heart. But I want to start by introducing all of my lovely players today, starting with the person on my right.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan, and usually I play Checkers, the Grung Druid, and especially Frog Pals, Mango, and Junior. But today I'm not playing frogs. No, I'm playing a slightly different animal. And then I'm going to be playing birds, and we're going to be creating bird characters around the table today, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. But I will pass it to the person on my right.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophie, and usually I play Valeska Carter, the human cleric of the Arcana domain. But today I also will be playing birds. And Tamire.
See, it's interesting. I am curious. Are you playing multiple birds? Are you playing a bird? I don't know. These are just, I know what theoretically is going to happen tonight, and yet there's still so much mystery and discovery ahead of us.
Maybe it's my turn to have a stack, Nathan. Maybe it's Sophie's turn.
Yeah.
For the stacks.
I am not going to be the one to stand in your way like I am most of the time because, hi, everyone, I am not GM Nathan. I am just regular Nathan here playing just like, usually I play lots of people, all other people. And today, usually the answer is I'm playing one single person. But I don't think that I am playing one single person. So it's not just, I'm not just a play. It's very complicated, the dynamics of what I'm doing right now.
It's a player team. You're playing a team.
That's true.
You're a team player.
Well, I won't go that far, but I am here to play a hero on Reckless Attack. And then to my right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steve, and ordinarily I would be playing Sylve Asterlin, the Dragonborn monk, but today is different.
And yes, as my lovely players have alluded to, tonight we are playing birds. Or rather, the game that I have created called Bird.
Jokes on the listeners, we're actually playing Wingspan.
Yeah, I would be
this
way
audio
into that.
That's actually
format.
that would be pretty excellent,
Yeah.
actually. The introduction to this game is you are a bird. Congratulations. Very cool. This is a rules light D6 game about being a bird. And I wrote this game in about 6 hours because I wanted to, and it's fun. And I am subjecting you all to this weird homebrew system.
The power you wield when you have a
Quite
podcast.
the turn.
Yeah.
You know, we talk a lot about in terms of promoting your own products, right? Is, you got to be your first, best, most
advocate,
stalwart advocate.
Oh, I am.
And you went a full 180.
No, I am
in
subjecting you all to this.
about 2 minutes, which is impressive.
But we're not going to get into the rules. We're not going to get into the characters. No, none of that matters. We are going to get into the scene. Today, we are telling a little bit of a side story from our usual cast of characters. We enter into Deepwood, that lovely giant waterfall tree that you all visited, I think, like 40 episodes back. Picture a beautiful sunny day. A magnificent, tall, gargantuan tree. And atop it is a mirror shining brightly in the noonday sun. Within the city, you can see a number of open-air markets have begun to crop up. You can see that people are hanging their laundry out to dry. And you see, sitting in his office, is Filigrin Pines, an old man, an administrator, a counselor to many here in the city. He sits at his desk, scribbling away, and he is blessed with an excellent view of the city. As one wall of Filigrin Pines' office is open to the rest of Deepwood, allowing him unfettered viewing to the city beyond. On schedule, a visitor appears, and a giant winged raven slowly makes its way in through this empty wall, this giant opening in his office, and lands with grace. You see a small halfling humanoid begin to pull himself away from the breast of this giant bird. And this halfling is decked in leathers, in goggles, in his flight uniform for the Ravenmounts. Ah, Juniper! It's so good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Thank you again for meeting me on such short notice. I must say the tree has changed quite a bit these last few weeks. We started receiving these refugees from Crossroads, and since then, I'd say they've settled in quite nicely.
Yes, sir. I think, well, I know that I am certainly happy that they're here, and certainly happy that our doors are open once more, and am very pleased that the council saw fit to do so.
But I didn't call you here to reminisce, unfortunately. I have an important mission for you, Juniper. We lost contact with the Grove about a week ago.
At this, Juniper, he was already treating this in a much more formal manner than he treats pretty much anything in his entire life. But at that, his eyes go narrow, his spine straightens further, and he is even more all ears than he was.
Yes, usually we get weekly reports, but they seem to have misplaced their messenger this time. And, well, nothing stops the messages.
Do we know why? Do we have any clues, any suggestion as to what or who may have interrupted the communications?
Ideas on what happened? No. But suggestions? Well, that's where you come in. You see, you'll be going to the Grove. I believe it will be your first time there. But not just you. You see, I want you and some of your most trusted Ravenmounts to go. See what happened. See if you can fix it. And bring back a message from them.
Of course, yes, sir. I already have a few in mind. Absolutely. I have to ask. Several weeks ago, there was some pretty obvious and direct threats made against the city and against the Grove. Should those threats have been made good on, what should I do?
You bring up a good point, Juniper. If you do see the shepherd in the Grove, as they would promise they would do, come back immediately and let me know.
Understood.
One last thing. As this is your first time in the Grove, you'll need instructions on how to get there. And Filigran Pines takes out a slip of paper and hands it to you.
Of course. He opens it up.
And you see that there is kind of a map of the forest beyond the Deepwood, as well as specific instructions and pictures of which trees to take a left at, which rocks to walk past. And more importantly, at the bottom, there is a passphrase. And when asked with the question, what do you seek? The answer is the rain and the wind.
Juniper stands there just reading this map/note/guide, and it's just kind of dead silent for a few moments, maybe up to even a few minutes. And then he just says, "Okay, got it." And then he crumples it up and puts it in his mouth and chews and eats it, as is tradition.
As is tradition. Smart man. Well, if there's nothing else, I think you have some friends to gather?
Yes, sir. He sets his jaw and just kind of gives a quick nod and scurries off before he is technically dismissed.
So, today, back at the table, we are playing a very easy game. It requires...
Again, just the backpedaling continues. Yeah. It's barely a game, actually.
Yeah, right.
It's...
That's fair, yeah.
But also, why? Why did you make this?
Today we'll be reading this script.
Yeah.
So, The original idea for this was playing as the Ravenmounts. I wanted to play as, creatures that flew.
Okay.
And then I had an idea to just kind of extend it into all birds. And really, the impetus for this was the 3 stats for each character. But let me get into that in a second. Character creation, which we're going to be doing in a moment here, is comprised of 6 things. These are 6 attributes for your character. You have your name, your brand, and your bond. The brand is a character description or a unique aspect. It could be a cool bandana they wear. It's just something identifiable and memorable.
Okay, this is the flare.
Yes, this is the flair.
Okay.
And your bond is a meaningful item, a relationship, a fellow player, an NPC, anything that your character feels they have a strong connection with. It could be someone around the table, a character around the table. It could be a family heirloom. It could be the bond between man and bird.
I mean, that should be in there for sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
In addition to these 3 things, the stats are brains, brawn, and bird. The way allocation works is that you have a dice pool you have a pool of numbers, 3, 2, and 1, and you can put any of those in any of those 3 stats. So you'll have a 3, a 2, and a 1 in all 3 in your stats.
In brains, brawn, and bird.
Yes. So you can be good at brawn, good at brains, or good at bird.
I'm just making my character as we're talking about it, and I have some very interesting ideas.
Oh yeah, I've already got some notes.
And to be clear, what we're making here is both the bird Raven and also the Raven Mount, right?
Yes.
So as we're coming up with names, we need a name for the Raven and one for the Raven Mount.
Correct.
So I came in with a semi-pre-existing character, so mine was not a terrific lift as far as character creation is. Even less of a lift than the very straightforward character creation that exists as it is. So I will indeed be playing Juniper. And we were trying really hard to remember. I listened to way too much Reckless Attack over the last probably 72 hours. I could not, for the life of me, figure out if we ever gave Juniper's bird a name. And I reserve the right to go back and edit accordingly if in the next week I figure it out. But I am playing Juniper and his Ravenmount Thornbrush.
Heck yeah.
That's a good name.
His brand, other than the lovable, adventure-loving scamp that you all know, his kind of signature look, you already said it, is a bandana over the mouth that he kind of wears, kind of bandito style. It's a pretty common accessory, I'd imagine, for Ravenmounts. You're out there flying, even though you're kind of, tucked into a weird shadow realm that's in the pocket chest of your Raven. But he definitely treats it as a fashion accessory just as much as something that is an important part of the outfit. His bond is Juniper actually has a sister, which we never, for very obvious reasons, never got into, whose name is Holly, that he is
Yeah.
Nice.
he is quite attached to.
Excellent.
Juniper leaves the office of Filigran Pines with with a lot of energy, and as he is kind of going through the various nooks and crannies and strange backways that he knows around this city that he's lived in his whole life, he starts to pick up his pace because there's a person that he knows needs to be on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he can get this person to sign on, then that changes the entire dynamic. That kind of helps figure out what this party is going to be, what it's going to look like. And God, he is friggin' psyched and amped, not just about the person that he's talking to, but about this opportunity to go on an honest to God, maybe adventure, beat down bad guys, all that good stuff. So he cuts his way through the city. I guess I'll ask Steve, where in the city of Deepwood is Juniper absolutely beelining to find?
So in this particular case, Juniper would be headed straight for one of the temples. The temples dedicated to just the pantheon in general.
Mm-hmm.
No real specific deity. I don't know if there's a religious district in Deepwood, but that is where Juniper would be going.
Side note, I feel like there can't be a district because like every floor has to have everything. 'Cause
Yes.
It's so tall.
Agreed. It is either highly districted or not at all districted. And
Yeah.
I think especially for religious buildings, like, yeah, there's just weird little, wherever people were like, hey, it's been about 8 blocks since the last weird church or chapel. Let's throw one here.
In
Yeah.
that case, you'd be headed towards the chapel at the highest level, closest to the sky.
So Juniper bursts through the probably just non-existent or open doors of this little chapel and is absolutely gassed, is just sweating profusely, didn't take any of the elevators, nothing, just sprinted as much as he could and is drenched and is trying desperately to catch his breath. He sees probably a priest of some sort, a cleric, who is looking at him. Is this the person he's looking for?
The person he is looking for is actually in one of the pews, just kind of meditating or going through some prayer beads.
So he just kind of like makes very awkward eye contact with the priest, who's kind of just like doing whatever middle of the day priest stuff that he's doing, rearranging, I don't know, books, candles, whatever, and just kind of gives a nod, tries to straighten up and slowly process into this little chapel and kind of make his way without breathing too hard next to the person that he was seeking out. He's just like, hey, hey, what are you doing today?
Juniper sees sitting down in one of the front pews is a human woman, kind of short cropped hair. Her sleeves are rolled up a little bit, and you can see some tattoos on her forearms of religious iconography. And she currently has her eyes closed and is kind of either meditating or counting off a circle of beads that she has in her hand. She seems to come to either the end or a good stopping point and opens her eyes, stands up, and says, Juniper, it's nice to see you. You've obviously met her before. This is Anna. And
Anna, last name?
Yes. So
No.
I know there's something waiting
yeah.
waiting in the wings.
Well, because of
wings.
her yes, because of her tendencies to be, she's kind of like the more religious out of a lot of the Ravenmounts. She's kind of been given a nickname, and people kind of call her Anna Prayer.
Anna, what are you doing today, and also probably the next like 2 to 3 days? Sorry, I'm really lightheaded. What are you doing?
I was just going to be relaxing. It was my few days off, but why? What's happened?
Okay, you're not doing that. You're not. No, you're coming with me.
Of course not. Why would I get a chance to relax?
No,
That's
because there's the mission adventure. No, we got. Okay.
fine. Brett, would you like to sit down?
He plops down next to her, realizing that he'd been standing the whole time, and he's like, "Yeah, okay. I was just talking to Filigran Pines, the council member. You know him.
Yes,
And
I am familiar.
he was telling me that we haven't heard from the Druids at the Grove in like a concerning amount of time, and so like something probably must have happened, right? And like it could have been a big thing that happened, and he wanted us to go. Well, he wanted me technically, but also my crack team, and he kind of gestures at you, to go and see what was happening, see if we could help, preferably. But
I'm honored you think of me as part of your crack team. Of course we'll help. Anna looks out towards the side of the temple that is open to the air and gives kind of a shrill whistle, and you hear the telltale flapping of wings, and she gives a quick shout and says, Wing, come here. We have a mission.
Of course.
Juniper looks up at Wing, and again he's seen Wing, and he kind of gives like a little wave, and then his eyes kind of focus on the middle distance for a second, and then he just slaps his forehead, and then he also gives a whistle, and then down flies Thornbrush, and he says, "Okay, let's meet in the main square in like 2 hours. gather supplies, get ready, weapons, like lots of weapons probably, potions, scrolls, whatever you can. And he's saying
You're
this as he's
expecting
like,
a lot of trouble?
as he's like gesturing and walking backwards and like calling over his shoulder. He's like, yeah, whatever you can find. Just to, we're going to do this. We're leaving.
The main square, I'll be there as quickly as I can.
2 hours.
2 hours. 2 hours, yes. And Anna just kind of begins walking towards Wing, who is this large black raven, except the feathers are kind of like tipped in red.
Nice.
And Wing has a kind of a crest along his head and slightly down his back of these red feathers. So it's kind of like a red feathered mohawk. And she goes up to the Wing and says, well, it looks like we won't be getting the full time off, but we have a job to do.
And with Anna Prayer taken care of, where does Juniper head next?
Juniper jumps straight into the chest of Thornbrush, and you just see his little goggled eyes kind of peer out. And they take off and like fly from now seemingly at the very top of the tree, somewhere probably down below. I don't know. Where are we heading?
You head straight to one of the many open-air auditoriums in the city of Deepwood. And this is one of your favorites because it is one where your dear friend Len practices and performs for the citizens of the city. And you find them there as usual practicing. They're practicing a new song, one that you haven't heard yet. And at their side is a smaller, round bird who you are familiar with and whose name is Mochi. And Len and Mochi are singing in the middle of this auditorium on stage, and their voices carry, and you can hear them from a mile away.
And Juniper, as you fly into the auditorium, you can also see some people outside are stopping to enjoy the vibrant notes that are emanating from this auditorium as Len and Mochi practice.
Would it be inappropriate if somebody yells out, "Free bird"?
Yes, very.
Incredibly. Punishable by death,
That's
actually.
a capital offense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
What species is Len? Did we say?
Are there tree folk in the city? Is that a thing?
Sure. I mean, it would be. It's a little on like you could have fun as Len being like describing your relationship with living essentially on your own flesh.
Yeah, okay.
But
that's
tree
fair.
people might have like very different ideas of what that would be like. So I think it's cool. Like I'm very for it. Like right now we only have a PI tree guy at the moment.
That's true. Okay, yeah. Len is a sapling, the same species that Alareth, PI tree guy in Agmar, is.
So as all of these people are sitting around and kind of just like enjoying even just the practice of this accomplished singer, another voice absolutely, I won't say drowns out entirely because I don't want to downplay the powerful lungs that you no doubt have, but absolutely without any pause or hesitation, just yells out, Len, stop.
Hey, Juniper, what's up?
What are you doing? I mean, like,
Yeah.
like not right now, but like generally, what do you do? Like, what do you have going on?
Well, I was just practicing with Mochi here.
Okay. Anything else more important than that over the next 72 hours or so?
I've got a book signing. I've got to meet my fans. I've got a performance tomorrow. There's a lot going on.
How many have RSVP'd for that book signing? And I'm asking not because I support you. You know that. I've been to a bunch of them. But just turnout wise, what's that do you think is looking like? Nope,
Why?
doesn't matter. You got to cancel.
I have to cancel?
Yeah, you have to cancel. Well, let me put it this way. You don't have to cancel. You're right. I'm going on an adventure. Actually, Aunt Anna is coming. And
Ooh.
prayer, and we're going. So long story short, blah, blah, blah. We haven't heard from the Grove of Druids for like a while. And so we got asked to go check it out and maybe help, maybe run away. We're not sure yet. But like, come on.
Oh, that sounds way better.
It is way better. You have to again cancel, no show, talk to your agent, whatever it goes on. Like, you gonna get it sorted?
Oh, of course. I'll be there.
Okay.
Screw the stupid book signing.
Yeah.
Who reads this
my,
anyway?
My fans will understand.
Okay. Hour 45. Down Main Square.
Main Square.
Be sure you grab some flutes to play on the way. Be sure to grab scrolls. Be sure to grab those sticky buns. And is like already like backing out of the wherever it is that you were practicing.
You hear that, Mochi? We're going on an adventure.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Lana Ravenmount?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You made it seem like this person was like just like a
fair.
artist and not
Very fair.
had a whole career outside
Yeah.
of not being a Ravenmount. So that's why I was
Oh yeah, fair.
confused.
That's fair.
No. I
No,
mean,
I'm
like,
here for it. Yeah.
Again, we've
Yeah,
established
no, I'm
they
just-
have shifts, and it's like no, you were. This is your down. This is your like your it's like doctor shifts, right? Where
Yeah.
you're like on for 48 hours and then off for like 3 or 4 days or whatever. So
Okay,
you
yeah.
cram in all of your book signings then.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the last member of this esteemed party. Where does Juniper go, and what does Juniper see?
Juniper full on breaks into
Song.
Alice's home to find her.
Oh yeah, like
Just like knocking on the window super fast in the next window.
knocks on every single surface.
Yeah.
Like goes around in a circle and just keeps knocking on every wall possible.
What Juniper would know is that Alice is actually like a night shift Ravenmount.
Ah.
So she specializes in like kind of being like a dark rider, like only rides at night.
Please tell me it's an owl.
No, they're Ravenmounts.
I know. I went back and forth too, Steve. I was like,
Yeah,
this
idiot.
established
Raven.
is there.
So Alice is dead asleep at this point of the day.
You see a little halfling head poke through every single like window until eventually finding the right like lump under covers, and then 100% just breaks it, and presumably with
Yeah.
some prior relationship and such where this is an allowed behavior.
Yeah.
But like goes through the window but loses his footing and like falls onto the bed, like flap
Ah!
onto you. Hey, Alice, me.
What? Who? And Alice is just like struggling with like an eye mask, and like it's like one of those eye masks that's also like around her ears because it's like, again, middle of the day, a bustling city, and she's just like, who? Juniper, is that you?
Thornbrush also shoves his huge head through the window and does a huge caw, which is the most effective alarm known to the city of Deepwood. And after a chastising glare over at his bird, Juniper's like, it's me, it's Juniper, it's fine. Okay, how many hours of sleep would you say you've had?
What time is it?
Noonish. How many hours?
2? No,
That's-
what? Juniper, I'm supposed to be sleeping. What is happening?
Okay, so I guess I'll ask, does Alice like the night shift?
Alice absolutely loves the night shift.
Okay.
Ooh.
So Alice, I know, you do your best work at night, but also I know that you do your best work when you're working. And I think that there's some good opportunity for you to be working both day and night right now in about 90 minutes.
No, why go away, Juniper? I am trying to sleep.
Here's the thing. I have just a handful of kind of hot words for you. I've really had some time to kind of nail down my pitch. No contact from Druid Grove. We're sent out to go check it out, getting a team together. Are you in?
Alice just like takes a few beats to process this and then like stares daggers at
Come on,
Juniper
Come
and
on.
is like,
Just say it. We know.
yes, but I need my own time to get my coffee.
You have 90 minutes.
That's fine.
Great. If you could, and he immediately starts backing out and calling over his shoulder, crawling backwards out through the window. It is not at all safe or wise to do. It's like, and actually, if you could just make some extra coffee for everyone, we're gonna be probably on the wing for a little while, and some any baked goods or like kind of like pastry things that you might have. And you can see him on the Raven has already started swooping away, and he's still calling out like, oh, and also maybe if you could grab.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hi, it's me, Sophie. Do you want more reckless attack? Then join our Discord and chat with us in our community. The link for the Discord is in the show notes, or head on over to our website, recklessattack.com. We also have a Patreon. You can listen to our new show, Reckless Snack, and other content if you become a patron. We really appreciate your support, and thank you for listening to the episode.
And with the crack team assembled, we see Juniper, we see Alice, we see Anna, and we see Len with their respective Ravenmounts. You all have your assignment from Filigree Pines. It seems that, as Juniper mentioned, the Grove is in some sort of danger. It seems that you have not received their last expected message, and you all have been sent to go figure out why. The four of you walk towards one of the many balconies in this enormous tree city. And you go through a much practiced motion of integrating with your birds, with Thornbrush, with Wing, with Mochi, and with Bore, Alice's bird. The four ravens spread their wings, begin to flap, generating these currents of wind, and then take off towards the forest.
Quick point of clarification. How big is Mochi right now?
Mochi is the runt of the family, I would say, in that they are about half the size of a quote-unquote standard Ravenmount. And that is part of their brand, in that they are very small, very round, and very popular with the citizens of Deepwood.
That's good, because I had pictured a small bird, like a bird-sized bird that was small, that was singing along with you, as opposed to like just a smaller Raven mount.
Just
Got
a
it.
smaller
Okay.
Raven mount, correct.
Why do I feel like Len and Mochi are the like community outreach
right?
Ravenmounts of like they go
They're
to
on a
the
lot of-
schools
They're on a
Yeah.
lot of
and
posters,
hospitals.
for sure.
Well, I didn't get a chance to tell you all this,
A
but
therapy raven.
when Len came to join all of you at the main square, they would have brought souvenirs for each of you, including a Mochi plushie and a small Mochi keychain.
Only if it's the new seasonal collectible.
Yes.
Jonathan creating a character whose thing is giving weird little tokens is just a through line forever. And also having a little guy.
Yeah. I'm just always little
guy
giving
with
weird
merch.
Yeah, right.
So you got merch, you got coffee, you got pastries. Like, you guys are set. You guys are ready to go.
I will clarify. Alice has brought like a bandolier of like different vials and like kind of like bigger glass containers
Mhm.
that are like labeled per hour because she has had to interrupt her circadian rhythm before and it doesn't bode well. So these are basically just like different tea concoctions to like give her a steady level of caffeine throughout the day.
Absolutely.
And has brought others.
There's like a calculus you have to do based on like, the time of day.
This
the
is
amount
what the
of
Dark
sun you
Riders
see.
do. They have a system.
They suffer for their craft.
And it's we can say that we don't have to call it, benzos, uppers and downers, Percocets. No,
Yeah, no.
it's magic.
It's
don't
magic.
worry about
yeah,
it.
it's tea. It's magic
not,
tea.
It's
Magic
not
tea.
abusive practices or whatever.
No.
It's very gentle, actually.
yeah.
So the four of you have been given this map by Filigree Pines.
Well,
Well, you've been
Juniper
given
saw a map.
You have been given instructions on how to reach the grove. As you fly further into the forest, you see just a regular kind of big, tall forest of trees. You've been in this forest many times as it's just outside of Deepwood. But these instructions are confusing. It seems like you have to make a left of this boulder, walk around this tree clockwise twice, jump up and down, and then jump over a stream, back again, and then the third time, and it's, what? Where are we going? What is all of this? Until you complete the final task in this laundry list of odd motions, and you suddenly find yourself as you turn the next corner. The trees change dramatically. the landscape changes dramatically, and all of a sudden, it's like all of your senses are just overwhelmed by what you're seeing. Instead of a small tree forest like you were in previously, the trees that you now see are 75 feet tall, and the leaves are just this explosion of color, of reds, of greens, of purples, every color imaginable. You feel like the sun is just like a little bit too bright. The sky is just a little bit too blue. And you can hear the sounds of animals, of insects, and all sorts of wildlife all throughout this magical, enchanted grove.
Anna will be walking and kind of going through the motions of the prayer beads and just humming to herself, just like a silly love song. And just kind of look around and take it all in.
And I want you all actually to give me the first roll of this game. So getting to the grove is no small feat. As you know, you have to go through a number of tasks and trials, but some of you are maybe not feeling so well after making this abrupt transition from where you were to where you are now. And I would like you to give me a brains roll. The way this works is that you're going to roll your d6 and add your modifier, your +1, +2, +3, to the roll. And I'm going to say that this is a medium roll. So you have to hit a target number of 5. So go ahead and roll those dice.
Anna is distracted.
Distracted? Okay.
Yeah, just the silly love song has taken over. I got a 3.
Juniper, who is actually very brainy, is trying so hard to remember all of the instructions that he got before he ate them, that he is too distracted and also only gets a 4.
Alice also gets a 4, even though being quite brainy.
Len is very good at memorizing song lyrics, and the instructions that Juniper provided are not really any different. So Len and Mochi succeeded with a 5.
Very nice. So we have 1 success and 3 failures. The majority of you are a little bit distracted, as you mentioned, as you get into the grove, and only Len sees the 2 guards that approach you. Halt, halt! What are you here? Trespassers, I see! As you see, a large brown bear, and sitting on top of them is this kind of winged koala creature. It's got little wings by his arms, but he's just got a big old round belly and a little koala head.
So
That's absolutely terrifying.
Len definitely should not have been the one leading this group of people, because Len and Mochi just get bowled over when they stop suddenly at seeing these 2 guards, and everyone just walks right into them. But they say, "Hey, is that bear talking?"
Yes, what of it?
You're a tree person.
Yeah.
They're living in Deepwood. That's not probably the wildest thing.
As I asked, what are you here for? What do you seek?
Alice will just look and turn to Juniper.
Juniper, now that he has picked himself up, brushed himself off, and disentangled himself from Mochi, strides forward, again kind of sticks his little jaw out, and says, "Hello, we are Ravenmounts from the city of Deepwood. Is there a problem?"
There might be. As I said, what do you seek?
The passphrase.
The passphrase. Yes, we seek the rain and the wind, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yes.
mm-hmm.
Yes, we seek the rain and the wind.
And at that, the 2 of them visibly relax. The bear who has been talking, you can tell they retract their claws back into their hand, and the koala that's sort of sitting on their shoulders takes a much easier stance, though not quite relaxed. Ah! Help! From Deepwood, you said. You are here to bring a message. We have not had messengers in some time, in weeks and months.
No, we're not. We're actually looking for messages.
What? Why would you be looking for messages? We just sent one.
It was not received.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were told that the Grove missed their last message somehow.
I don't understand. We just sent them. Isn't that right? Shoot, I have to make names.
Koala. Isn't that right? Koala man.
Yeah.
Allah.
Ko.
We cannot name
we can't do that.
something Allah.
Allah the koala.
Yeah. Isn't that right, Ko? And the koala says, "Why, yes, it is, Bear." And the two of them have this like interaction, and you can tell, like they are also a little confused. Like they just saw someone not even a few days ago leave the grove and deliver a message, and they tell you that like they sent a lizard to go and deliver the message. And Ko says, "No, everything is fine. The lizard should have arrived already. There is nothing wrong with the grove. As you can see, everything is as it should be."
Well, Juniper's just looking around at everyone else.
This is where I would normally call for an insight, but I don't know what I'm getting. Steve, am getting the weird vibes of we're not talking to who we think we're talking to.
And a prayer. Go ahead and give me a brains roll. I'll say this is medium.
A 6 total.
Ooh, okay, that is a success. You can tell that every once in a while, they look at you and their eyes don't quite seem to focus. It seems like they're looking past you every now and then.
Question for you, Nathan. Would news about the shepherd be public or well known, or would Juniper have shared that information with his party?
I would say probably. Like, it was such a public thing that happened, and like so many guards had to come in and blah blah blah, and presumably there was like probably an alert raised.
Sure.
I couldn't think of many reasons why they'd want to keep it secret. I
Okay.
guess.
And Len will pipe up and just say, "I thought the grove was on high alert. Shouldn't you be more worried about this? I mean, the shepherd could come back at any moment."
Any moment.
And as Len and Juniper kind of talking to the guards, Anna will like turn her back to the guards and lean down and whisper into Juniper's ear, "Should we ask to see the Druid Council? It seems an odd situation." And as she's facing away from the guards, we'll like just kind of like look around, because like she's still a little bit disoriented from the grove, and like I don't know, she just woke up. A bear talking to her was kind of like not on her bingo card today.
One thing Anna will do will be she will quote unquote accidentally drop her beads.
Okay.
Reach down to pick them up, and then also whisper to Juniper, "They seem unfocused."
Juniper, as each of these kind of missives are sent, he leans over to Len and just like very casually, just like, "Oh, look at that leaf over there." Len, Anna and Alice both just whispered stuff to me. Did you notice anything that's worth whispering to?
As the three of you bend down and report your various messages.
She starts stumbling around with our mouths just passing by just for a brief second, each other's ears.
Is there something shiny down there?
All the ravens now are very interested.
Yeah.
At the mention of the shepherd, and at the mention of the grove should be on high alert, Anna, you've been watching, and you notice that their eyes fully unfocused this time. They look directly past you, and then all of a sudden gain clarity again. "Halt! Halt! Who are you? Trespassers! Trespassers! What do you seek?" As the two of them take up arms yet again, and seem not to recognize you.
Whoa, 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 whoa. We seek the rain and the wind.
Yep, rain and wind. Still.
You just talked to us for a minute,
Hey,
for a couple minutes.
How fast do they change the passwords here? Does anyone know? I haven't been here before.
I haven't been here either. You're the leader of this group.
Okay.
Messengers from Deepwood. And the two of them relax once again.
Yep. Yeah, guys. We are messengers.
And we should get that message.
We got to keep messaging forward into the grove.
Are you feeling okay?
Nope. What are you talking about? It's great. Two great guards, very healthy, very with it. So if we just, and he just like starts like
Yeah.
doing
We
the
should just-
patented Juniper scoot away and talk while he's moving.
Do they seem fully focused now, as before they weren't?
They seem more focused. They seem like they are back with it, the same as when you first saw them.
But we were just asking them about the shepherd. We haven't found out anything yet.
Do you mention the shepherd?
I said what I said.
And once again, their eyes unfocused, but you can see there is almost a sort of red, smoky glow that that begins to creep up from the sides of their pupils.
Hey, Len.
Yes?
I'm going to need you to get your game face on here, please.
I always have my game face on.
We're on an adventure.
Yes?
Halt!
Read the room.
Halt!
Wind and rain or whatever.
The rain
Guys?
and the wind. The rain and the wind is what we seek.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this like you are.
And by bottom of this, he turns back to the guards. We mean the bottom of where messages go to the
Druid
Council here in the Grove. And so, password given. Can we just get on? Just scooch right past you. Oh! If I could just get.
As you try to push your way past them, Juniper, go ahead and give me a brawn roll.
Oh, I'm not.
I've
I
dubbed
wouldn't say. I
this.
wouldn't call it pushing my past.
Yeah.
It's more.
I'll say
of
this is an easy roll, but go ahead and give me the brawn roll.
That is a 4.
Okay, cool. You are able to kind of like scoot your way, your small halfling body, past the bear and the koala. They're a little taken aback that you would push past them so carelessly. You can see farther into the forest in the same way that this kind of reddish, blackish glow began to cloud over their eyes. You see into the forest, where there once was just darkness, just the regular motions of the trees. You can see other koalas, other winged koalas and their fat, round bellies. But they seem to also be coming towards you. All of a sudden, you hear where there was once just the wind, the chirping of the birds, the chittering of the squirrels. There is this discordant music. These wrong notes begin to reverberate through the trees as if the trees themselves are amplifying this music that offends your sensibilities, but more importantly, causes you to feel anger. It seems that the creatures around you are feeling this as well as they begin to move towards you. And Juniper, since you are the farthest in, you can see just in the background the most coherent pillar of smoke with red eyes and a brown staff upon which is a bright red crystal. The discordant music echoes once again, and the creatures behind you seem to have completely forgotten that you are there. But the koalas in front of you begin to attack.
If you have Jonathan play whatever angry koala sounds are, I'm out.
I think most koala sounds are angry koala sounds, just
Correct.
based off of what I know about koalas.
I know nothing except that they're adorable, and I don't want to know
they're
anything
very
else.
mean.
I don't want to know anything
They're
else.
very
I don't
mean.
want to know anything else, Nathan.
Just the worst.
I don't want to know. I want to imagine them as cute little furry babies eating eucalyptus.
Drop bears. They're
No,
called. They just drop
no.
and then they get you.
So the way that combat, or rather any sort of conflict, works in this game is sort of this tug of war mechanic. I have in front of us a line with a number of notches on there. Specifically, there are about 16, and you all are starting in the middle. On each of your turns, you're going to describe to me something that you are doing to resolve the situation using one of your skills. And you will roll the appropriate skill. If you succeed, you're going to push the enemy back a number of notches. I'm going to say that this is also kind of a fast scene. So we have a scene timer of 3 rounds. At the end of 3 rounds, depending on if you have pushed the indicator to their side or they've pushed it to your side, determines who wins the conflict. Lastly, if you try and use the same skill more than once on each of your turns, you'll find it a little bit less effective. So it does behoove you to try a variety of different skills. Try and be as clever as you can about how you're resolving the situation. Unfortunately, because 3 of you were a little bit distracted and failed your brain rolls coming into the grove, I'm going to say that the enemies have a little bit of an advantage in this case. So they have pushed you 2 spaces closer. We'll start with Juniper, and then you can determine who is next. Juniper, what would you like to do?
What Juniper is actually going to do in this snap moment, he's too far away. His bird is too far away. Even the rest of the group is a little bit farther away. He realizes right now that this is about to get very, very bad, and they need to get the hell out of here. So what he's going to do is what I would like to do is try to recall the map that I received in 8.
Okay.
And specifically try to remember where we needed to go from here. Like, we had the passphrase, and that was kind of the last little bit, but he's trying to work out. He knows that this is a mystical place. He knows that this is a place where if you take a wrong turn, you're just ejected or worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's trying to figure out, if we run, how can we run in a way that still pushes us towards where we want to go?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I'm going to say, because this is the heat of battle and you're trying to remember something, this is going to be a hard roll.
I will roll brains. That is an 8.
Excellent.
Ooh,
You succeed.
brains.
And you can visualize this map perfectly. Again, you took some time before you ate this to understand exactly where you needed to go, and it comes in picture perfect into your memory. You advanced the token and you push the enemies back 2 spaces, bringing it back to equal.
Alice will immediately know that this is a dire situation, and those situations are best handled as a team with Bore. So what she does is she will kind of use her bird skill to call Bore and then also run and like meet where she can like kind of jump from a fallen tree
Mhm.
or something and do her best to like connect with her Ravenmount
Okay?
and then kind of swoop back and like give the group a little bit of cover as they kind of prepare themselves.
I'm going to say this is a medium bird roll.
All right. That's an 8.
Excellent. So
Ooh, nice.
you have no trouble connecting with your bird using a maneuver that I imagine you've practiced hundreds of times by now.
Mm-hmm.
But it is in daytime, so that may be...
I mean, it
different,
really
I don't know.
could. Alice is definitely wearing like Ravenmount sun goggles.
Right.
like
right.
they look like, you know, the old school like 50s thick glass prescription ones.
I mean, and we all are. Like, that's part of the curse, is some amount of like sunlight sensitivity. So like yours are just like, yeah, extra Coke bottle
Yeah.
ones, as opposed to our just normal cool shades.
Yeah.
Hearing all the discordant notes in the air, Len and Mochi are going to try and counteract those a little bit, taking a page out of Cascarin Brightmane's book, who they heard about before. Or who they heard.
How did you hear about my book?
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to know about the manuscript yet.
And they are going to merge with Mochi. As Mochi opens her beak wide to sing a beautiful song, you can actually hear 2 pairs of voices coming out of this small bird.
Okay.
I'm going to try and use bird to counteract some of these melodies that are floating around.
Okay. You can hear from farther along, back behind the trees, as these koalas begin to kind of, slowly move up towards you. And you hear, futile. Go ahead and give me a hard bird roll.
That is a 1.
Ooh, that is a 1. Unfortunately, because you rolled a 1 on a hard roll, you have done a fumble,
Oh no!
which is going to move the token back one towards you, and it seems that you are back even against these koalas and this smoke creature.
So I'm not able to make any progress against the overwhelming sounds.
Yes, and it seems like the sounds grow even louder as these awful notes drown out the natural sounds of the forest. And Anna, you see these koalas bearing down upon you. What do you do?
This is probably going to be a brains roll, but what I would like to do is use what I have learned. And that is, anytime the shepherd is mentioned, all of these creatures kind of reset. And so maybe I can diffuse the entire thing by mentioning the shepherd, and then they'll all forget, and they will all kind of reset, and we start from a neutral position.
Okay.
So Anna, quickly is running through these prayer beads, and then says, I need you to forget everything. So, shepherd, did you hear about the shepherd? Anybody know about the shepherd here?
The two guards forget immediately what they were doing, and their eyes unfocused, they come back, they don't recognize you. But the other koalas, still under control by the creature, have a little bit more resistance to your attempt. Go ahead and give me a brains roll, but I'm going to make it medium.
Ooh, that's a 6 on the die for a total of 8.
So you can see that the ones closest to you begin to lose their red luster and sort of stumble back and aren't quite sure what they're doing here. The smoke creature in response comes a little bit closer, and you can see the crystal in his staff glow even brighter. And he says, "That was stupid." So that is going to shift in their direction by 1 tick. So now you guys have the advantage. On their turn, these koalas begin to move through the forest at the bidding of the smoke creature and leap on top of you, to grab at you, to claw at you where they can. Mochi and Len, you're on the ground, and so you are somewhat easy targets for these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Alice, you are farther up in the trees, but you can see these koalas begin to jump with their powerful hind legs and attempt to knock you from your perch. They are going to push you back 3 ticks, making this, once again, their advantage.
They don't have to roll.
They don't have to roll.
Oh, that's right. You made this game for you, so you don't have to roll dice. Yeah, but
I made this game, so I always win.
No, I'm better. So
Yeah.
I succeed.
Yeah.
We are in the middle of a heated combat. We'll start with Len. What would you like to do?
Cry.
That's a free
Yeah.
action.
Len stops, drops, and rolls.
Great.
Turns out one of Mochi's best skills is rolling around. So they're going to roll around to try and knock as many koalas off as they can. However, they are very small, and they are very round, and they are very bad at brawn. So I'm going to be rolling my worst skill,
Okay.
but I'm going to try.
I'm going to say you got some guts. I'm going to make that a medium roll.
Okay,
Medium brawn roll.
let's see it. That's only a 3.
That is unfortunately not enough.
Help! Help! I'm under attack! Help!
And these koalas continue to jump on top of you and begin clawing at Mochi.
Anna, seeing these koalas kind of just pile onto Len and Mochi, gives another kind of this shrill whistle and calls up to Wing and says, "Wing, live and let die!" And Wing will try to basically dive bomb and attempt to scatter the koalas in the area.
Okay.
So that Len can get free and that we have a little bit more breathing space.
Cool.
Would that be brawn or would that be bird?
I'm going to say that's bird.
Okay. That's an 8.
Wow,
Nice.
lots of 6s over there. Nice.
No, this was a 5. Bird is my best.
Oh,
skill.
nice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that was a pretty good idea. So I'm going to say that was crafty.
Ooh.
And you get an additional tick for that. So we are back at even. You guys are making some good progress fighting against these koalas.
Juniper, having remembered where they need to go, essentially realizes, okay, boy, things continue to get worse. And so he is going to call over Thornbrush and is both going to kind of take off and start trying to lead people in the right direction, but also is going to try and help Len and Mochi
Okay.
by doing a full-on bird torpedo attack, also known as bird pedo. I don't like that.
That's bad though.
Is it some kind of like?
Torberdo?
Is it some kind of like tuck and roll? Can you flip the bird?
That's advanced. I only have 2 points in bird. I think you need 3 points in bird
Gotcha.
for that. So, bird, that work?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a medium bird roll.
Cool. Ooh, that is a 1 on the die.
Okay. So unfortunately that does not succeed, but you also do not get pushed back. Thornbrush is not quite able to get the right amount of rotation as he tries to torberdo his way across this branch and knock off these koalas, missing slightly.
Alice, seeing the direction that Juniper was heading and starting to lead us in, will kind of like look at that path and start to, like, in her mind, or just like kind of figure out the least koala'd path
Yeah.
forward.
Okay.
Trying to use brains to start guiding the group in a way that there's not a ton of flying koalas in.
The path of least bear.
We're working really hard.
Yeah.
It's not going well.
They're not flowing like I would like.
We got to keep trying, but we'll
they're
get
not
it.
high quality.
There we go.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, go ahead and give me a medium brains roll.
5?
Nice. So that succeeds, and I'm also going to give you a +1 crafty because you are using information that you got from a friend.
Juniper, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's go, team.
So with that, at the end of the round, the koalas are all over you. You have pushed back some of them. They have begun to push back some of you, and you were embroiled in this melee. The smoke creature again steps forward and looks at all of you with these red, hateful eyes. You do not belong here. This place is not for you any longer. And they push you back too, bringing it back to equilibrium. This is the final round.
Len and Mochi have been struggling on the ground, and they have only just barely gotten into the air to kind of start shaking off some of these koalas. Something that they're going to try to do is use their powerful voice to stun as many of the koalas around them in order to escape.
Okay.
They're going to blast out this melody of notes with 2 voices coming from one beak, and we're going to try to disorient and stun as many of these creatures as I can.
I would say because you are using Mochi's powerful lungs, that is a medium bird roll.
Excellent. I got a 6.
You got a 6, and I'm going to give you an additional +1 because that was pretty smart. That was crafty.
I like it. All right. We're doing well.
And one thing I would like to mention as well. So with your bond, if you fail a roll, you can kind of invoke your bond this session to re-roll that. So what that looks like is just describing how your bond might play into this particular roll.
Alice would like to flip the bird. Alice knows that there are koalas hanging on to Bore and needs to get them off. And also kind of wants to like see what they'll hit if they get flung off. So she'll give the command to, while they are flying quite fast, like do like a tuck and roll to like barrel roll as quickly as possible and fling the koalas off of Bore.
All right, go ahead and give me a medium bird roll.
That's a 1.
3
total, but
Right.
these koalas are fucking...
Yeah, they've got their
Cinch-on.
claws into you. You try to flip the bird, but it just like, you're not rotating fast enough.
It's hubris. I only have 2 birds. It really is a level 3 skill.
Juniper sees that, boy, once again, we have failed to dislodge any of these koalas on any of these birds. And we've gotten up in the air. We know which direction we're going, and this is all going through Juniper's head. He's like, all right, we know where to go. That weird music seems to be a part of this, maybe. So what Juniper's thinking is that, like, maybe if we just fly as fast as we can, that we can get out of the range of the, like, discordant music, basically.
Okay.
And that the koalas that are still dangling will no longer be under the control, I guess, of the creatures.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a medium brains roll.
Cool.
I think that's a good idea. Juniper's really using those brain muscles, and I'll make it crafty as well.
So, worth noting, I have used brains already. I didn't use it previously.
Yes, you just can't use it back to back.
Okay. That is a 5 total.
That is exactly what you needed.
Nice.
Juniper, tell me what it looks like as you try to communicate this information.
I believe that canonically we have established that Ravenmounts and those who are on them communicate like psychically, like use telepathy kind of in short range. And so we're all Ravenmounts. Like we're all super good at this. We've done this a bunch. I imagine there's a lot of good like mic discipline.
Yes, right. Keeping those channels clear.
You keep the channels clear, but so just as all of this kind of battling and fighting is happening, you just all hear out Juniper's voice with a commanding air just yell out, "Let's just get out of here. Fly as fast and as hard as we can, and maybe those things will lose control." And he just like immediately just he doesn't wait for anyone else to say yes or no. He just starts kind of flying in the direction that he knows they need to get moving towards.
Okay. Juniper, you start flying, and the rest of you hear this as well. The last round of this scene.
Upon hearing Juniper's words of wisdom, Anna agrees. And so Anna gets ready to get kind of swooped up by Wing. And so she extends her arms out to give Wing a good point to fly by and grab onto. And she again whistles and says, "Wing, living on a prayer." And so that gives Wing the signal to swoop down and get her the heck out of there.
It would be a medium roll, but it's a hard roll now.
Okay. That's fair.
Give me a bird roll.
Bird roll. Here we go. Oh, that is a 5.
That's fine.
I'll allow
it this time. You succeed, but it's not crafty.
It's technically not a pun on Ryxia, so it's fine.
And with that, the four of you begin to fly as fast and as far away from the koalas and the bird creatures and the smoke creature as you can. All while in the backdrop you can hear, "Halt! Halt! Trespassers! What do you seek?" The koalas that were clinging to you, they begin to become out of range of this music. It begins quieter and quieter, and they sort of let go and fall into the forest below. They're fine.
They're designed to be able to do this.
Yeah, they drift and are totally good. They bounce on the floor as designed.
And they giggle a little.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're having a great time.
They have
love
koala
this.
fall.
Yeah. And the four of you, by now, realize that something is very, very wrong in the grove. You all fly in the direction that Juniper has determined is the correct way to get closer to the council members, closer to the center of the grove. And you can see these tall trees, the vibrant leaves, become a little bit less vibrant the closer you get. It seems that some of these bright kaleidoscopic colors are faded, and some of the ones farther along have turned this ashen bone white, and these leaves have fallen to the floor below. As you progress and progress, you see something that you had hoped you would never see again.
In front of all of you, in front of all of us, a large grove opens suddenly in the depths of the forest that you have been traversing. At the center of this place, a place that must once have been a gorgeous scene, you see a few key features. You see a beautiful waterfall with a small pond nearby. Then, a towering tree that, to our Ravenmounts, is a spitting image, albeit a smaller one, of the tree that you all live in, with several figures fighting around it. The Ravenmounts instinctually recognize those who must be the Archdruids. Among those druids are those you've come to know as the First Ones. And among the First Ones is a thin figure with blue skin, with runes streaking all across it. The figure is wearing a wooden mask with antlers springing out from them, and they are holding a golden lantern and a hooked walking stick. The figure is talking to the archdruids before you and doesn't seem to see the birds circling above them yet. Their voice echoes, supernaturally amplified, and you hear what they say. Though we have not yet met, I know you know who I am. And I know this conclave, or at least what you used to be. I had hoped that you, being longer lived than most mortals, would see things as I do. But instead, I see hermits. Hermits who cling to dogma and are even further removed from the rest of the world than I am. We all go through life with hearts emptier than they should be, lives lonelier than they need be, a world darker than it needs to be. We are already in an apocalypse, and I am already damned by my circumstances and by my deeds. The world ended when the gods left. Now, I will simply take another step forward to damn the world until those that shaped Ryxia choose to save it, or I will bring our collective suffering to an end. The first ones standing around the archdruids move forward with an unspoken order and dispatch the archdruids, those you know to be some of the most powerful beings in this corner of the world. As this happens, you see the shepherd reach within their simple brown robes and pull out what to your keen eyes appears to be a large skeleton key. They raise it up, and it begins to float upwards from out of their hand. After a moment, an archway forms. Different than the one you've seen the shepherd use before, but a gateway nonetheless. At this, the world trembles. The gateway shatters as something continues forcing its way into this world. And I don't think any Ravenmount has seen this sort of creature before, but have heard tale of its like. An ultra giant has returned to Ryxia.
The Ultra Giant forces its way through this archway, and the grove bends and trembles and breaks. The prison that the Archdruids had constructed to trap this creature and preserve it for so long begins to collapse as this dimension can no longer sustain itself against the Ultra Giant's return. As you all fly towards the source of this thing, as you witness the shepherd's slaughter of your leaders, of the Archdruid, you are caught in an overwhelming shockwave. And everything, for a moment, goes black. But that's where we'll pick up next time on Reckless Attack. Bye, everyone!
Bye.
So, as his office, I'm trying to describe.
Yeah, no,
Is the implication that because I don't remember, are we the cause of him missing a wall?
No.
I was like, because
we broke a wall. It wasn't his.
it was the fourth one, but because that's kind of how it started sounding, was like our characters had, he is surrounded by 3 walls,
Yeah.
and that's why he has a view
And a crater.
yeah basically
Police tape still
right.
going around.